What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching Car Inside. It is Charlotte week here on iRacing, and that means, as promised last week, I'm back with more qualifying walkthrough with the C fixed. Show you guys how I go about my qualifying process, what I do here to try to get up to speed and get a good qualifying lap. I think Charlotte is one of the more technical tracks, especially when it comes to mile and a halves for laying down a good solid lap. You got to have a really good line and really hit your marks at this place in order to have a good lap. You're going to see a lot of people slipping up, and it's very easy. You're on edge whenever you're running here. Especially this week, it seems like it's very slick. Of course, it goes with the generic conditions, but my hot lap was a 30.344. I tried for a little while to hit a decent lap. I still feel like there's room to pick up, maybe able to get into the twos if the conditions are right. But we're not quite there yet, so this may not be the fastest lap you see, but hopefully it'll be a good guideline for you guys, and if it is, please give me some feedback and let me know. But one of the common questions that seems that I was asked last week was what steering ratio that I use, and 90% of the time for the race trim I'll be using a 16:1. Usually don't have any offset. If I do, it's basically to get the wheel to 12 o'clock whenever you're going straight down the straightaways. Qualifying, I use a 12:1 for most places. There's rare occasions where it would change. If it does, and I'm doing these videos, I'll tell you guys what I'm using. But for this week, it's going to be 12:1. As you can see there, it was my lap, 30.344. But we'll go through it real time here, and then we will slow things down and kind of show you the marks to look for. But you can see here as you come off pit road, basically just getting up to speed here. There's really no need to be in any big hurry. I usually just kind of play it safe. Don't want to slide your tires. Something that you hear me say is building up that surface temperature. You really don't want to get a lot of surface temperature in these tires. You really want to build up the core temperatures so they grip a little better. But come out, hang out close to the wall. You don't want to over rotate the wheel. You want to kind of keep it as straight as you possibly can here. On our first lap, we're just kind of going to take it easy, lift a little early, drive turn one kind of like we normally would, just backing out. This is kind of how you're going to run the turn one early in a race. I did take a kind of a shallow entry there and push off the exit, but like I say, it's one of those places that you really have to hit your marks. But coming through three, you're going to kind of lift early, stay up top, and really build up your speed, get your momentum on this high side. You can see as you come down off the banking here, you can really use that banking and the that heel there to build up speed, carry down. You're going to barely lift off the throttle, just enough to get the truck down to the bottom and get it settled. It's really going to be free through there. It's very loose. Have a higher entry in here, lifting just enough to get the truck settled. It is very loose on this exit. You can see the wheel really working there. Come across the line, cut it as close as you can to the grass, and that's a 30.344. We'll back it up here. As I was saying, you come through 3 and 4. I just more or less just kind of lift early enough, that way that I could be flat out through the middle and the exit. You can look here, and you can see the track kind of goes downhill. And it's just going to pick up a little speed. You can see it pick up 3-4 miles an hour. Cut it as close as you can to the grass. You're going to come out toward the wall, and you start turning in. You want to get as close as you can out to the wall, and you kind of start turning in here at the end of the Charlotte sign and this Bank of America sign. You start turning down. As you turn down to the bottom, somewhere between the Bank of America sign and the Cup Series sign, depending on what the track percentage is, you can kind of lift right before you get to that black sign. As you get down to the bottom and the truck starts to rotate, get back in the throttle, it is going to be very loose. As you can see here, I'll remove this. You can watch the wheel. I'm kind of, I kind of stop turning as I'm coming out of the corner. The truck more or less is turning itself with the rear tires. It's very slick here. Coming down the back stretch. Something that I look for is this white line here. This is a big point for my entry for both qualifying and the races. The races, a lot of times I use these red Coca-Cola signs as my lift points to try to save tires. But here for qualifying and for the race, this white line that lays here on the track, we'll back it up there. I usually run my left side tires on that. I want to take a long swooping entry into turn 3, especially during the race. But it seemed like in qualifying, anytime that I would enter in below that, I would scrub a lot of speed, get loose through the middle, push off the exit. So the best way I found to get around here, even in qualifying, was to try to drag those left side tires on that, just like I would be running my line in the race. Your lift point is going to be right here at this Charlotte turn 3. Lift just ever so slightly, get the truck to settle, and then start looking for this hit the wrong button. Start looking for the Toyota, the America's Home for Racing sign here. Start looking for that, and that's kind of going to be the point where you get back on the throttle. But it's all about the feel. When you can kind of feel the truck settle. But you can watch the wheel as I come off the corner here. It's very slick. Working the wheel. We were scrubbing just a little speed coming off the corner, I felt like. But again, it's very slick. But you're lifting just enough to get the truck down to the bottom, and then driving off. And you're going to work your way back out toward the wall. It's very hard to stay down on that bottom. The back end wants to come around, and you just dive down as low as you can without going into the grass. You don't want to get a point of contact with the grass, or a 1x or a 0x or whatever it gives you, and lose your time there. But that resulted in a 30.344, and the lap that I'd seen in second split earlier this evening was a 30.333, so that's not far off of that. And I was actually the best lap I turned was a 30.32, which is earlier, but I was picking up the slightest bit of draft from a car that was about a second or so ahead. So I didn't want to post that one. I wanted to get a good raw time with no traffic whatsoever. That way we could kind of see and compare to what it was going to be like in qualifying. I didn't even want to chance the fact that there was other traffic around and stuff like that. So, but that is a lap here at Charlotte. Track position is going to be very key for this place. It's very hard to pass where it's narrow. I feel like that's something that you kind of preach and say quite a bit whenever you're running the C-Fix in these trucks. Dirty air is just such a huge factor in these things. But here at Charlotte, where it's so narrow, you want to be up front and avoid those crashes, because it can be very chaotic. So qualifying is very important, but you just want to hit your marks and not overdrive the truck. And just be prepared to fight that wheel the whole time, because to be fast here, you're going to be fighting the wheel. It is one of those places that is very tough to drive. I love it. Probably one of my favorite tracks. I'd put it in my top 5. But as always, thank you guys for watching Car Inside. And if you would, please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think of the video. If it helped you this week, please let me know. If there's something that I could do better, let me know that as well. Constructive criticism goes a long way, and if you help me help you, then it'd make it better for all of us. So you guys have a good one, and we'll see you later on with some officials.